Philip Hammond was forced to apologise for calling the EU the enemy while Brexit talks were underway, unearthed reports reveal. At the beginning of June, former Chancellor of the Exchequer Philip Hammond urged the government to seek an interim Brexit trade deal to allow more time to deal with the economic impacts of coronavirus. Mr. Hammond appeared in front of a Treasury Select Committee to answer questions over the economic consequences of the pandemic. When asked by SNP MP Alison Thewlis for his thoughts on the financial costs of a no-deal Brexit, the former Conservative politician said, "My observations would be that at the second half of this year, the UK economy is going to be recovering from an extremely painful economic shock. To place ourselves at a disadvantage to then have a second shock later this year would not be helpful." He said the UK faced real challenges over allocating enough resources to negotiations and suggested the breakdown of international travel could have also had an impact on talks. He added, "I do wonder whether it is possible for the government to agree to at least a temporary trade deal with the EU which is perhaps not satisfactory to them in the long term but will allow us at least more time to negotiate the full-scale trade deal." Mr. Hammond stood down as an MP of 22 years 4 months ago, after clashing repeatedly with Prime Minister Boris Johnson over Brexit. The ex-MP for Runnymede and Weybridge had lost the party whip after opposing leaving the EU without a deal. Once one of Theresa May's closest political allies, Mr. Hammond was the most prominent Remainer in the cabinet from the very start, and in being so, he inevitably drew the ire of many Brexiteers in his party. However, according to a throwback report by the Daily Express, Mr. Hammond also risked infuriating Brussels in a television interview in 2017, as he branded the bloc the enemy. After explaining how united the party was behind Mrs. May, he added, "The enemy, the opponents, are out there on the other side of the table. Those are the people that we have to negotiate with to get the very best deal for Britain." Not even 30 minutes later, though, Mr. Hammond backtracked and talked instead of Britain's friends and partners in the EU. He tweeted, "In an interview today I was making the point that we are united at home. I regret that I used a poor choice of words. We will work with our friends and partners in the EU on a mutually beneficial Brexit deal."